All right, guys, we're doing a little round baling. Got the drone that's following me so far. This is 4-acre field. Got this raked up earlier. Got the other field out there. I think I probably mowed about a third of it. That's where the disc spine broke. So I got that raked up. Got up early this morning, went to parts run over to Larry Romance over in Woodhall. They had all the parts for the disc bind, and I didn't work on it yet, but I got all the parts. And I got 2 filters for the Farmall 70, and I changed the filter and started the tractor up, and I messed around with it for probably 10 minutes or so. I could just barely get it to, I could drive it backwards, had the bale wrapper on, I could drive it backwards, and then I could just barely drive it forward. The forks on the bale spear were just angled back just enough that it would move forward. I moved it forward and back a couple times, and I see the loader move just a little bit, and then voila, I put the 3-point hitch arm down, and I pulled the joystick, and just ever so slightly the loader came up, and then 3-point hitch picked up, and I was able to, I unhooked the bale wrapper, and then I actually left it running because I was a little worried that if I shut it off, the loader was going to drop down and it wasn't going to start again. So thought maybe the hydraulics weren't going to work again. So I left it running while I went and did a couple things, just try to get, it was about 9 o'clock. So that's why I messed with it. I'm like, I got about an hour, a little over an hour that I could mess with it and see if I can get it going. And then if it doesn't get going, then I'll have to decide whether I was going to use this tractor to rake again, which totally sucked, or use the 966, where I might have to switch the remotes around. So I was real happy that I got it going. Then I got out here to rake, and the rake wouldn't open. And I thought, oh man, you gotta be kidding me, something else is wrong with it. Then I got back there and looked at the hoses, and I had them hooked up wrong, because this tractor, the remotes are side by side, and every other tractor we have, the remotes are over top of each other. Well, I had them hooked up side by side, so I just had to flip that one, and then it opened and it worked fine, and it raked fine. Definitely can rake faster with that than you can with this one. I mean, it's bumpy, but it's just not as bumpy. So I'm really happy with that. I got it all raked, and so decided to I messed around with the drone. I don't know if the drone footage of raking is going to be any good or not. Didn't seem to want to follow the rake tractor. Looks like it just lost me. Where is it? Oh, it's way over there. So it lost me when I got over by the trees, but it found me around quite a while, almost about 3/4 of the way around. So got over by the trees and it lost me. So I'm using point of interest, and seems to work better. See if I can get back over here a little ways. And it seemed to work better. That's what I use with the planting the sunflowers. And lost me over there by the trees. Get this bale, we'll see if we can get the drone back on us. But so I just kind of messed around a little bit, a couple things. messed around with the skid steer. I still can't get the skid steer to start. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video or not, but still can't get the skid steer to start. And it won't, like, it with a jump box. I have, you know, a couple of those jump boxes. I could get it to crank maybe 3 or 4 times, but it just wouldn't start. So I don't know if it, I don't know. You know, I've had a lot of trouble with the fuses in it. The thing only has like 300 some hours. It's so annoying. To get it where it is, it's sitting right there by that line. Get it where it is, I jump started it, drove it over there. I'm like, yep. I said, well, I might have to jump start it when I go to load line, but no big deal. So I jump started it, went to load line, and it was just too wet. Skid steer couldn't drive over there, wet spot. Ended up not being a very ideal place to put the line because it had so much rain that it's deteriorated the pile right away. Lime actually running down the side of the field. But I just couldn't get it to ever start. I've tried, I don't know how many times where it is. So I said, well, it looked like, you know, didn't have a whole lot of fuel in it, so I wasn't sure if, well, maybe the fuel gauge is, you know, I think it said 1 bar. Oh, well, maybe it needs fuel. So today I put some fuel in it, and I took about 2-3 gallons, took the jump box, and I tried jumping it, and it cranked a couple times, but not quite right, you know. So I decided to try to charge the battery, but of course it's sitting right out in the middle of nowhere. So there's not a whole lot of room to work on it, you know, inside the compartment where the battery is and stuff. So about 2 weeks ago, I bought the DJI Power 1000. And this is actually the first thing I've ever used it for. So I bought it to, and I'm going to do a video on it, and I'll do a little video on it. Not really necessarily a review, because I don't know all the technical specs for it. There's other guys that I'm sure know more about it. But DJI, I mean, they just have all kinds of cool technology, you know. Drone lost me again. We'll just give it another shot here. So it's a power pack. You charge it up, you plug it into a 110 outlet in your house. You can fully charge in 70 minutes. It can run, like, you know, it's got 2 110 plugs on it, 2 USB ports on it, 2 USB-C ports on it, and so you can use it to charge devices. You can buy a solar panels for it, and it can charge solarly through solar power. You can charge it with a car. Just a lot of cool things that it could do. And I've been looking at them for a while. Since I got into DJI, I mean, I have DJI cameras, DJI drones. I think DJI just has a lot of cool technology. So I've been looking at it for a while. It's $1,000. Well, it went on sale, and typically I don't know much about DJI, but a lot of times DJI will do that. They'll have something go on sale right about the time they decide that they want to launch something new. And but I'm not part of any, you know, for the drones and the cameras, I'm part of Facebook groups for them. So that's how I learn a little bit more about them, that, hey, this camera's going to come out, or this drone's going to come out, or whatever. But for the power pack, I'm not part of any Facebook groups. I don't think I ever really watched a video on it other than the DJI commercial or whatever. So, it went on sale. You know, they send you emails or whatever. It went on sale for $4.99, and I was like, wow, $4.99. And then they had this solar kit was like, I think it might have been just a little over $1,000. And then they have a bag for it, but I thought the bag was, I don't know. I don't know. The bag's kind of expensive. I probably will buy the bag, but at the time I was like, I'm not going to buy. I think the bag's $200. So I bought it, and we got the pitching machine. I don't know if you watched the video, but I'm like, hey, so we're going to be able to power the pitching machine with it. If I did the math right, I was trying to figure out. So you're trying to look at, like, I don't know electrical stuff as far as watt hours and kilowatt hours and all that stuff, right? So I was trying to look it up. So I mean, they say, hey, it'll power whatever. I think they said a fan, like a fan. Well, there's a lot of different kinds of fans, right? Power a fan that, just a little personal fan that keeps you cool, or a ceiling fan or whatever, Said it would power a fan for 7 hours or something like that. So I tried to find the calculator thing, and I finally found somebody that told me how to calculate somewhere. Told me how to calculate the power. Well, it'll run the pitching machine for like 7 or 8 hours. Because I was trying to figure out if it would run it for practice. Practice is like 2 hours. You probably do batting practice for an hour and a half or so. Because I was like, well, if it doesn't pitch to every kid, that wouldn't be very fun. It wouldn't be very fair. Whatever. I think the drone lost me again. I think it's looking. Doesn't like the trees. I think it's looking at the trees. So, but you can charge, all this stuff. Well, then they put it on sale. Well, then they launched. The line's a PowerPack 1000, which is actually capable of 12 or 1400 watts. Yeah, actually more power than the number 1000 says. Well, then they launched they have a 500, which is about this big. They have a 1000, which is about the size of a small microwave, maybe. I think it weighs like, it's heavy, it's got batteries in it. And then they just launched a 2000. Now the 2000 has all the same stuff, but about double. So I think it has 4 110 ports, 4 USB, 4 USB-C ports, and then it has a 30 amp, the triangle plug, 30 amp RV plug. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And then it's a 2000, they call it a PowerPack 2000, but it actually has up to 4,000 watts. So I did watch a video on that, and the guy, 51 Drones, he does a lot of drone videos, but he's real into DJI stuff, and he did a whole bunch of testing with it. He would try to get it to overload, and he had a whole bunch of stuff plugged in, and it finally overloaded, and it was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And he ran his RV with it, and he went in and he had his RV plugged in it, and then he went in and turned his RV microwave on and ran the microwave, and it would run the RV air conditioner for a little while. And so when you plug it in, I didn't do that, but when you plug it in, I guess it will tell you the load, and then you can just divide the load by how much it says is left, and you'll know how long it can run it for. He said it could run his air conditioner in his RV for, I think, an hour or 2 hours, hour and a half, I think, something like that. So that's pretty cool. So I have it, the DJI PowerPack 1000, plugged into the battery charger on the skid steer. Right now it's on trickle charge, because I want to see if I can get enough charge in it that it'll start. The only thing I notice about the skid steer, it doesn't start. The only thing I notice about it is usually when you turn the key on, you'll hear like a and I think that's like the fuel pump or something. I'm not sure, but you don't hear that, so I'm not sure if that's the problem. Which is it, a fuse or pump or whatever? I don't know. We had a lot of trouble with fuses, and I actually had a guy, they serviced it. It's like $300 for them to come service it. And they came out, they found a fuse blown, and they serviced it, but they didn't tell me what. They were out there when I wasn't there. They didn't tell me what, you know, they just left it. They think they sent me the thing in the mail, and it said, and I think they might have told my mom, well, they didn't say which fuse. You know, that's kind of stupid. You know, if you're gonna out there say, hey, we found such fuse blown, so if it happens again, check that fuse, right? So we had relays go bad in it. I think I mentioned that in the video when I was working at the sugar house. So I have it hot wired right now, and it works fine. My hot wire doesn't have anything to do with the problem. I know it doesn't, because all I did was I took that switch from the seat belt and I put it into a 12-volt switch on and off. And all that wants to do is it wants to see the seat belt. You know, when you fire it up, it wants like a delay. It doesn't want the seat belt to be automatically on, right? So it wants it to be like a little bit of delay. So if you start the skid steer and then you flip that switch, it recognizes whatever, change in current or whatever, and then it recognizes that as a seat belt. And so before, when they worked on it, they said that I might have had the wire shorted because I didn't have any wire nuts on it. I just wired it together and it worked. And I was like, I was going to put the switch on it and, you know, wire nut everything together and insulate everything and make sure that, you know, it wasn't going to short out. But so I don't think that's why the fuse is blown. I don't think so. But because I mean, it was working fine. And of course, the wire coming out of the seatbelt's about that long. So, and it's not, you know, it's like, I don't know, 20 gauge or whatever, not real big, and it's very frail because the skid steer always sits outside because you get it where, I get it where I need it, and I leave it there because, you know, it's not exactly a speed demon down the road, you know. And usually, wherever it is, you know, we're using it to unload bales or move bales or whatever. It's usually, you know, we're moving dirt down to Sugar House or loading lime. It's usually there for a few days. And the way it's made, you know, I don't know why they made the canopy with holes in it at all. It gets it rains in it, and it gets just the front of the seat. So the seat's going to be ruined pretty soon because it keeps getting the front of the seat wet. Then it dries, you know, so it's all starting to break apart. I don't know why you wouldn't make it so the seat slid way back or tipped up or something. But, you know, pay all the extra money and get one with a cab and not have to worry about it, I guess. But my thing is that it has like no hours on it. I think it has 300 some hours on it, you know. For what little we use it, it sucks that all year long it's been a pain to start. Like a couple times somebody's left the key on, and because you got to turn the key to the right spot to be off, somebody's left the key on and the battery's died that way, and then you had to jump start it. And you know, I think it just doesn't get, a lot of times it just doesn't get used enough to just doesn't get used enough to charge. Well, maybe I already dumped the bale out. Oops. So, and if I get it started where it is, I'm just going to start it up, just let it run for a couple hours and hope that it charges enough that it starts the next time. I know I do not want to. We had the battery replaced in it one time, and like, there's no room. I mean, you can't even hardly get your hands in there. It's got the side compartment. You take that apart. Then in the back, the battery does not, it slides out the side, I guess, but it's not very easily accessed from the back or from the side. And to jump it or whatever. One time when I actually was going to take the battery out of it one time, and I went to take the battery out of it, and it was still hooked up enough, and I got a wrench stuck in there, and it shorted against the radiator. It just about caught on fire. Wrench got super hot. It wedged it like right in there and got super hot, and I took something else and hit it and knocked it out of there, because it probably would have caught it on fire. So it's not exactly the most fun thing to work on, that's for sure. Anyway, I don't know if the drone has found us. I guess it's doing okay now. It doesn't like the trees, but we get a little bit of drone footage. I guess it likes point of interest better than it likes active track. Active track, though, you get those cool shots where it crosses back and forth behind you and in front of you and does it all on its own. I mean, it's very very movie-like, but the drone does all the stuff on its own. You know, flying the drone around is kind of actually boring, but making videos with it is fun if it can follow stuff. It certainly does get frustrating sometimes. It's hard when it's bright because you can't see the screen. And obviously when I'm round bailing, I am looking at the round bailer, I'm looking at my mirror, at my round bailer, and I have the drone controller over here beside me, and I just kind of glance at it. And once in a while, if I look out, I can see the drone, but now if I look out right now, I can't see it. I don't know where it went. Whether it's doing supposed to do like a half circle, so I don't know if it's still on me, so it must be up just high enough that I can't see it. I have one, I just got to put it in. I don't have it for this controller. Maybe I should. I have two controllers, so if you know anything about drones or you don't, whatever. DJI makes the RC2 controller, which is the one with the screen, which is what I have. And I didn't want to buy a drone without one, so I have two of them. And I think by just clicking the settings, I can change what drone I want to run. So I could run both drones with the same controller. But I bought a thing that you use like a GoPro mount, and you can mount the controller. But I have it on the other controller, not on this one. I would like the controller to sit over here, but there's just not as much room. Now I get tired of dropping it. It's right on me right now, so maybe I got far enough away from the trees. Over here, this is a little pocket that it doesn't fit into. Over there's a big pocket. It sits there and it doesn't move, but it's harder for me to see. So I'd like to get. If I did that, then I could stick it to the window, and I'd be able to see it every time I'm looking back, pretty much. But so I don't know if the rake footage is going to make it or not. I figured it'd be kind of cool to do the drone with the rake footage, because I mean the 70's loud. I'm not going to run a camera and talk on there. So get this done. The weather's kind of iffy. My phone says it's gonna rain, 50% chance of rain. My watch says nothing till later, 20% chance of something later. I'm not sure. I think my watch is, I don't know. Must be my watch is using Middlebury Center as the address, which is 16935, and my phone is using Elkland, which is 16920, and we're pretty much like right in the middle. So if I was really like, there's kind of dark cloud over there, but it looks like that's gonna miss me. So it looks good that way. So usually we get everything from the north, from west, pretty much straight west. Sometimes you get things from northwest or southwest, but usually mostly, a lot from west. the other day, but I was working on the disc vine. It came from the northwest, and just that little sliver caught us. See if the drone's gonna land by itself. And it's there. I can see it going down. Might be off by. The thing I like about it is it puts the camera. See if I can help it land. Getting shaky. There, it landed. Didn't want to land in the spot, so it was off to the side a little bit. Just a little bit of, it's a dirt patch from where we scooped up the lime. There's just a little bit of grass sticking up, and it must have detected the grass. Oh, had to bail. Everything at once. But when the drone gets over there, when it gets ready to land, it gets down to, I don't know how many feet off the ground, it turns the camera. So then when I pick the controller up, the camera's out horizontal, and I can't tell exactly where it is, so I got to turn the camera so it's down, so I can see what's underneath me. So because I couldn't tell from up there where it was going to land on the ground. It looked pretty good, so hopefully it gave us a little bit of drone footage. So I'll have to work on the disc vine probably tomorrow. Get done baling. I'm earlier today baling. I'm hoping to get this all baled, and we'll see if the girls want to go to my in-laws to swim. Judd's already there. My mother-in-law came and picked up Judd yesterday, so he's already there. He swam yesterday quite a bit. So if they want to go up there, it's a nice day. If they want to go up there and swim, then maybe we can catch the fireworks on the way back. Didn't quite get that corner. So anyway, we're going to call it a video. I got to jump out and get the drone. Shut the battery off. We're going to call it a video. Stay tuned for more from Triple D Maple, Triple D Farms, Triple D Cabins. Please like and subscribe to this video. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.